What's up, everybody? It's Why We Love Horror. This is the Watchalongs show. I'm John Maher, and that's Aaron Brooks. Aaron, what's going on this week?
Hey, week number 2 in the 70s Underseen edition, which is most of 70s movies outside the big ones, honestly, on Letterboxd. And I'm excited to be here talking about it with you.
Yeah, we are in week 2 of movies that have less than 20,000 reviews on Letterboxd, and let's just jump right into it. Your movie, as we do every week, your movie is earlier, so we're going to talk about your movie first. So, what'd you watch?
Yep. So I went back to Italian horror with a Mario Bava movie I haven't seen. It's actually quasi giallo, which is a lot of giallos are anyways. It's a giallo though. Hatchet for the Honeymoon, 1970. This is about a guy who's trying to repress childhood trauma by killing a bunch of brides to be right before they get married. And this is one of those where it's not a mystery giallo, more of a you know who the killer is, you kind of know why, but the reason gets unfolded more deeply as the movie goes, and you're kind of put into the psychology of the killer in some ways. Really well shot. It was the first like giallo movie for Bava in like 7 years from or 8 years from whenever Blood and Black Lace came out. But either way, didn't lose a beat. The way it's shot is like one of its main strengths. Just like really, really good. Not a mystery, but a good, fun giallo. Like the ending, don't worry, it's Italian, it's crazy. Not gonna spoil it at all. Yeah, it's like a 3.5. It's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely not one of the worst ones. The main character played by Stephen Forsyth, he was crazy, and he's had no other real roles. Like his second most notable role was Black Jesus. That old joint with directed by Valerio Zellini. So yeah, he hasn't been in anything, but yeah, it's a good time, beautiful movie. So. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I picked a movie that, like, for some reason, it goes right along with seeing Long Weekend last week. This movie has almost the same exact plot, but they go about it in a much fantastical way. I watched 1972's Frogs, which features a young, mustacheless Sam Elliott, which is it's a sight to see. And Ray Milland plays a crotchety old wheelchair-bound Southern gentleman, I guess, who basically Frogs, just like how Long Weekend was last week. Frogs deals with a family living in the South, but Sam Elliott plays like a nature photographer. He kind of stumbles upon their mansion on an island in, I guess, a swamp. I have no idea where they are. They don't tell you where they are, but it feels like Louisiana.
Okay.
And basically, they're not respecting the environment here either, and nature's had enough. Nature's had enough of these families, and it's weird that the movie's called Frogs because the frogs don't do. Even though that box art, which I'll throw up one more time, shows a frog eating a hand, that never happens. The frogs are not that big. The frogs are just regular old frogs. But every other animal attacks these people. There's spiders and alligators and snapping turtles and birds and everything, geckos. Like it's really nuts, like the lengths these animals go to like Rube Goldberg kill this family of Southern wealthy folks. Is the movie great? Not really, but if what I said intrigues you, definitely check it out. It's not a bad time, but I settled on 3 stars.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out at some point.
And as I always do like to do, our Letterboxd challenge, the Why We Have Our Letterboxd challenge, is right there. Check that out. That's where we're getting all of our prompts from, where all our movies are. All our lists are there. You can see them as well. But on top of that, Aaron gave me 100 movies. They're there. And then I gave Aaron 100 movies, and they are there. And we've been working through this list, and we will work through this list throughout the year. So we'll go over Aaron's movies that he watched this week first. He's still earlier in time. So what movie did you watch this week on your list?
Yeah. I only got to one, 1968's Kirilenko. Kuronenko, the Black Cat, also known as Kanato Shinedo's other movie that is also mentioned along with Onibaba. And it's also often mentioned second, and I personally liked it a little bit more. I liked Onibaba a lot as well. This, like Onibaba, beautifully shot. It's about a mother and a daughter or a woman and her daughter, I guess a mother and her daughter that would be, who are raped and murdered during war times by some samurais, and then they come back as ghosts and start ripping out the throats of samurais, and then a samurai is hired to basically come in to fight the ghost or person who is killing the samurai. So it's really interesting, rather straightforward story. I was expecting it to be a lot harder to follow. It's about as straightforward as it gets, honestly, once you get past the supernatural element. But the way it's shot, it really is beautiful. This and Qui-Gon last week, really just like back-to-back, like impressive set pieces, just perfectly acted. And I just got a weakness for Black Cat movies in general, like whether it's Edgar Allan Poe stories or this right here. And yeah, no, this is really, really good. And yeah, my hot take is it's better than Onibaba, if anybody's asking.
What'd you rate it?
4.5.
4.5. All right. Yeah, I agree with you. This movie is like really great vibes, really well shot, really kind of feel for the characters, even like you kind of, I root for them in a way, but I also root for cats just like you do. I do think Onibaba is better than it. Like I think we talked about this. It's close. Mm-hmm. I'm at a 4 on Kuroneko.
That's fine.
All right.
And that was the only one I got to this week. That's
cool. I watched a few. The first movie on the list that you had given me, I got up to Deranged, which is I'll comment on it. Like it stars, was it Robert Blossoms, yes, who if you recognize that man, he is the man who's shoveling the sidewalk in front of Kevin McAllister's house in Home Alone. And back in the mid 70s, they made him to be the star of basically. This is the Ed Gein story before the Ed Gein story had 15,000 covers, and this movie actually came out 8 months before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is like really noteworthy because it's basically, I mean, while he does not use a chainsaw, they're Leatherface and this gentleman, what's his name, Ezra, are based on Ed Gein. And this I'd say is actually more true to the Ed Gein story because he really is just no rhyme or reason, just killing women because his mother raised him to hate women. Yep. And he's making things. He's using the bones and the skin for things. He's making masks, all kinds of stuff. And I got to say, it's a relatively straightforward movie for the subject matter. It's not good. It's not good or bad. It's not great. It's true. It's true to the thing. And basically, you get what you came for with Deranged. He is just a lunatic with no rhyme or reason. And I think they did a good job. I gave it a 3.5. Yeah,
I gave it a 3. I accurately titled. It's extra weird that it's the snow shoveler from Home Alone.
We didn't know that then.
I knew it then when I was watching. I knew it. So
when they were filming this movie, they didn't know he'd go on to be in Home Alone. Second movie I watched. We're getting into more giallo stuff. There's gonna be more giallo stuff to come. Yes. Really, given the climate of American politics at the moment, a crazy movie for me to watch. What Have They Done to Your Daughters? Yes. I got to say, excellent meat cleaver in this movie. The cleaver this dude's carrying around is a phenomenal cleaver. That's besides the point. This is, we talk about giallo a lot on this channel. Is this the greatest giallo movie I've ever seen? No. Is it really solid? Yeah, it's solid. And it's the only one I've seen so far that is really dealing with, like, basically really creepy fucking people. Like, it's the deaths begin to uncover like a child prostitution / murder ring, and they don't shy away from it. The crazy thing to me is, like, they make a big deal at the first girl that gets murdered in the movie. Like, that girl's 15. Wow, she's 15 years old. Was she even like, was she having sex? All this stuff. And then if she really was 15, and like not the age of consent. They put her dead naked body on the front of the newspaper. And I was like, whoa, pump the brakes, Italy. Yeah, I would say like I'm making it sound a little more sensational than it is. This isn't like Solo or anything like that. Like it's fine. It's like a typical giallo film, but it does deal with subject matter that I would, if you're into trigger warnings, I would definitely throw up a trigger warning, because like children are getting, like, they talk about child sexual abuse a lot in this film, and the bad guys are true creeps. Even though the guy who winds up being the killer is maybe the least of the problems, they uncover a lot of shitty men in this film. And I'm making it sound like the movie is bad. It's great. It's a great giallo film, regardless of the subject matter. So I settled on a 4 for What Have They Done to Your Daughters.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree. Mostly, like, I definitely want to see this director's other movie. What have you done to Solange? That's like his more known movie. Massimo D'Amo, or I believe is his name.
Massimo Dallamano. Yeah.
Dallamano. 3.5 for me. I did like this one. I thought the mystery was really good to it, and a motorcycle cleaver guy.
Agreed. And then finally, another giallo film. I just watched it today. Your boy Umberto Lenzi's Eyeball, which, one of my complaint, I guess, now about giallo in general is they don't go with the original titles. Like, the original title of this movie is what, Red Cats in a Glass Maze. That's a way better, like, that's a fucking nut. That's a nuts title. Even though that title has nothing to do with this movie, and Eyeball is probably the most straightforward thing to do with this movie, because the killer does cut out the eyeball. I guess, of every girl he or she murders. Right. And then if we're going straight giallo here, there's a few things that I found were just kind of off the beaten path for giallo. One, I'm used to the cops, not necessarily the cops being ineffective, but they're like at least competent at their jobs. The cops in this movie, they present themselves as competent, but they put all of the characters in danger throughout the entirety of the movie. They're Americans in Spain. They take away their passports and confine them to like the area of the hotel. And they have put no effort into catching the killer. They're just trapped in there with the killer for half the movie, which is like a weird choice. And I felt gypped by the ending, because nobody falls off a building. It's just it's a very clean killing of the killer. I didn't appreciate it, but it's still worth your time. Eyeball, I gave a 3.5.
Yeah, no, I really like this one. Like, one thing Lenzi gets accused of is borrowing from a lot of other people in the genre, and this was probably similar to others, maybe like a Fulci movie. And that's why I kind of liked it. I give it a 4. I think the characters in this really up boosted quite a bit. I think it's pretty funny and intentionally done. So as well. There's some good lesbian shit. I can't hate on it.
Yeah, the main cop is doing Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon before Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. He's like too old for this shit, and he's retiring. And they make a big deal, and I think that's why they just don't give a shit. So maybe I could revisit it again against that lens, and I probably would rate it higher. But it's a fun time. I would revisit that movie. Yeah. But that'll do it this week. Next week we're sticking with the 1970s as far as the Why We Love Horror Challenge, which is with this challenge. We're doing week 3 out of 5 of 70s deep dives. And we'll come back and do more self-imposed horror on my list and Aaron's list. But if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. And that's that. I'm JWMaher. That's Aaron Brooks. This has been the Watchalong Show. Here comes the schedule for the rest of the week.